Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You know what else I know? I know that some of these players got Wolverine type of healing abilities. We got some good news today when it comes to the injuries and when it comes to players that we feel or know are going to be very, very important to what the New York Giants do this season. First guy I'm going to talk about is Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers was a full go at practice today. Full go. And they said he was looking pretty well. He was able to run full speed and was able to move around and make some cuts, and he looked good. And guess what? Also, there's a possibility that he could play on Saturday versus the Texans. So that's pretty good news. Some even more good news. Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy 2 days ago was carted off, air casted. The fan base was scared of what we were going to hear. Then we get the news that, you know what, it's a low ankle sprain. It could take, 3 to 6 weeks for him to come back. And then right before practice, we hear that Tyrone Tracy is not only not on the sideline, well, not entirely, but he was suited up and he was actually participating in individual drills. And again, what type of Wolverine healing capabilities do these guys have? I wish that the whole team had it, because the whole team absolutely does not have it. But these two guys, for them to already be back at practice, one guy full go, the other guy participating in individual drills, and not only that, looking pretty good, cutting and moving around, that's fantastic news. We thought we were going to lose Tyrone Tracy for a while, but guess what? No. He might be ready to go week 1, and that is fantastic news because I want to be firing at all cylinders. He won't play this Saturday against the Houston Texans. At least right now we know he won't be playing versus the Houston Texans, but that's still some really, really good news, that these two young guys with potential to be, outstanding playmakers are already back and looking pretty good. So let's go through some of the other injuries today. Dante Miller, ankle, back at practice. I'm sorry, it was a hamstring for Miller. He was back practicing today. John Runyon, shoulder. At first, Brian Dable said he would be limited, but they're going to try to ramp him up a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's going to play, according to what Dan Duggan had posted. Deontay Johnson with the ankle did not practice. Flop with the quad did not practice. Drew Phillips, ankle, out also, and then Owens. Javarius Owens with the knee was also out, as far as the injury report goes, prior to practice starting today. Some news. So the New York Giants did something that surprised the heck out of me last night, and that was, trading with the Dallas Cowboys. So we traded defensive tackle that we just signed, Jordan Phillips, number 99. We traded him to the Dallas Cowboys. We traded him and a 7th round pick in the 2026 draft. And what we got back was a 6th rounder in the 2026 draft. So I think they were just trying to get something for him, maybe because he was not performing well in camp so far and was possibly a guy that was going to be cut. They said, you know what, let's try to get something for him. And the New York Giants get a 6th round pick for Jordan Phillips. I hate that it was Dallas that we made the deal with. But I'm not going to turn down extra picks for a guy that you were just going to let or cut in the first place. Also, we signed a running back, Joshua Kelly, played for the Chargers. I feel like his skill set fits what the New York Giants are trying to do. The committee, a guy that's one cut and go, a guy that can also be effective in the passing game. It's a good pickup for Joshua Kelly. What does that mean? I don't know for sure. Joshua Kelly is a guy that could make an NFL roster, absolutely. How fast can he get caught? Can he catch on to the offense? That's another story. This move could have been because we don't know, what was going to happen with Tracy and with Dante Miller. But we do add another quality running back to the room, and for preseason. So this a guy that's probably going to get a lot of snaps in that second half of the next 2 preseason games. But again, that was a move that the Giants made, and then we did waive or release Elijah Riley, cornerback, in order to add Joshua Kelly. There was also 2 safeties picked up. One guy, last name is Lane. I can't remember the other one. I'll go ahead and post that I'll go ahead and post that so you guys can see the names of those two guys. So we did have the coordinators at the podium today. Jobril spoke, Bowen spoke, Kafka spoke. Jobril was just talking. He's a special teams coordinator. He just talked about how he watched every single special team snap from last week's preseason games. He was taking down the strategies, looking up how people schemed up some of the plays for kick return, and he was saying that it was good to see how creative and how a lot of these coaches were attacking this new rule. Moving on to Bowen. So Bowen had a lot to say and answered a lot of questions. So first off, and I'm not going to quote everything. I'm just going over some things that I took down for notes. I'm pretty sure they'll drop, if they haven't already, drop the full pressers on the Giants YouTube shortly here. But he said that McLeod and Hawkins are doing a good job battling with Flott being out. He also said that Hawkins had a good showing against the Detroit Lions. And for me, it's like Hawkins was a guy that people had high hopes for last year because he was thrown into the fire. Wink praised him. He was having good training camp, and then we got into the real games, and it wasn't so good. This past preseason game against Detroit, he played very well. We didn't see McLeod, we didn't see Flott, so Hawkins got a lot of snaps, and he did so well that he got some rotating snaps with the first team this week at practice. And what he's saying is, basically McLeod and Hawkins are doing a good job battling, and we'll see what happens with that. Now Flott with this quad injury, I don't know exactly how hurt he is or how severe the injury is, but when you got two guys that are filling in pretty well, makes me feel a little bit better, especially when a guy like Flott was a little bit iffy to begin with. But hoping that he gets, has a speedy recovery and he gets back and is able to make plays for the New York Giants. Okay, and also something that Bowen said, he said he didn't rule out having his cornerback travel with the number one receiver. Now, that's something that the New York Giants have not done in a while. Can I say that I'm surprised by that? No, but that just makes me think that, okay, not only is he bringing his traditional system that he brought with him for Tennessee, he's also adapting to what these guys can do here, and he's showing a lot of trust. If you're willing to say that you want a guy to travel with the number one wide receiver, that pretty much tells me that you're confident in the players, or it's telling me that you got one cornerback that absolutely needs to be on the number one wide receiver. So it just depends on which way he's coming with that. He also talked about Azeez Ojulari having a strong training camp. He said he's been consistent. He's also showing some progress. And then also talked about Azeez possibly playing at the defensive line. And the first thing that people think about, especially Giants fans, when you think about Azeez playing on the D-line, hand in the dirt, you're thinking about the NASCAR package. You're thinking about Justin Tuck and how those guys used to go get after the quarterback. And that's something that they're not ruling out as well. And it shows some versatility. Now, is Azeez going to be the three technique on those early downs? I'm saying probably not, but on those third and longs, I can definitely see where you got three edge rushers on the field and Azeez Ojulari being that one guy with his hand in the dirt. So moving along to Mike Kafka. Kafka talked about Jones and wanting to get Jones and the starters in the mix versus the Texans, obviously. And with Nabers now being back and possibly playing against the Texans, you're almost seeing the full offense outside of JMS, on Saturday. And then we'll see what happens with JMS. I doubt that he actually plays. He's coming back off of the shoulder. He was in team activities, but I think they're not going to go ahead and throw him in there yet. Hopefully he gets some reps against the Jets. I think that needs to happen. We can't have, the first time of him having real contact be in week one. I think hopefully he's back by the Jets. They're going to have those. I believe we're still having joint practice with the Jets. I don't know if this has been confirmed, but I know it's supposed to be happening. Hopefully he gets live reps there. Hopefully he gets live reps in the game. That's what I'm hoping when it comes to JMS. Also, let's see what Kafka had to say. He just talked about the importance of the entire offense playing together against the Texans. And again, I agree with that. And I'm seeing things and reports like with Kansas City. Kansas City plans are playing their starters for the first half. Last year we saw the New York Giants play their starters for one drive and then were satisfied with the rest of the preseason. I'm hoping that we can do something similar to what Kansas City is doing. I'm saying at least rock bottom, at least you play these guys for a full quarter. If you want to get into the second half, I'm sorry, if you want to get into the second quarter, that's fine with me too. But I need at least a whole quarter, not just 1 or 2 drives. These guys need to play together. These guys need to gel, and the chemistry needs to be out there. And Daniel Jones needs to feel the heat. You know, he knows he couldn't be touched in practice. In these games, they're going to be coming after him full speed, and I need to see how he reacts to that. And I'm pretty sure he wants to see how he responds to that as well. All right, so moving on to Dable. Dable at the podium, it basically gave us an update on Nabers possibly being able to play versus the Texans. He also said that Drew Lock will be the emergency quarterback versus the Texans, so they don't plan on playing him. But if need be, if there's a shortage of quarterback, if guys go down, he said that Drew Lock is that emergency quarterback. We heard before that Tyree Jackson could possibly be or was slotted to be the emergency quarterback, but now it looks like Drew Lock is going to be that. You know, that's cool. That's cool. He did confirm that Tyrone Tracy was doing well, and he said might even do some running. And I already said it in the opening, spoiler, that he was moving around. He was able to do individual drills, which was very, very surprising, and then very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging. With him coming back, you know, more sooner than later, and then also ramping up John Runyon. So right now, it doesn't look like Runyon's going to play, but you have Stinney playing the left guard. Hopefully, Schlottman holds down the center spot. That way, we can keep Greg Van Roten at right guard. That way, they can build that chemistry with him and Illuminor. But also, Stinney on the left side with Andrew Thomas while we wait for John Runyon to come back. So, just getting to some practice notes. Malik Nabers, again, running full speed, had a nice one-handed grab. Also was able to do some cutting, some hard cutting and stop on a comeback route. So he looks like he's pretty good. He looks like he's ready to go. Will they decide to keep him out as a precaution? We will see. Tyrone Tracy was working on the side and also doing individual drills. But I believe it was Duggan or either Dunleavy that said, you know, surprisingly, he looked very well. Another note. And this one is a good one. Tyler Nubin was rotating with the ones today, and actually went out with the ones, started with the ones today, but there was a rotation with Dane Belton. But we already see after one impactful game from Tyler Nubin, you see that he's already being thrown with the first team, which a lot of us figured that was going to happen in the first place, but we see it happening more sooner than later as well. Some not so good news. Tyree Jackson injured in practice. Grabbing at his back, grabbing at the back of his leg. It was a low ball, I believe, from Tommy DeVito. He went down and got to grab it, and then came back a little lame. He was then walked off to the sideline, then went inside with the trainers. Gunnar Olszewski also left practice. Also went inside with the trainers. So that's pretty much the practice notes for today. They did say that the beat writers that were there said that it felt like how the regular season are when they're doing preparations for an actual game, and they said that the offense and defense also played the scout role, you know, for each side of the ball. So they're treating this game like a real dress rehearsal against the Texans. So to me, hopefully that means we're going to see our starters for the first half, offense and defense. There won't be any practice tomorrow. They're going to be traveling to Houston instead, and I can't wait. I can't wait for this game on Saturday. I can't wait to see this offensive line. I can't wait to see Daniel Jones with these receivers and this new offense. I can't wait to see the tempo of Brian Dable calling these plays with the ones out there. And then on the defensive side, I can't wait to see every part of that defense. From the secondary to the linebackers to the defense front. I can't wait to see Burns and Tibbs out there getting after the quarterback. Dexter Lawrence, pretty sure they probably keep him on the snap count, but I can't wait to see this game. I don't know if I've ever been this excited for a preseason game. I mean, I was excited for the Lions game last week. I think that's just going to be the theme of this season, or this preseason, just being able to see these guys in live action. And hopefully they do a good job, and hopefully they will. There were a couple guys talking at the end of practice. Daniel Jones was at the podium. Daniel Jones, talked about Malik Nabers and how important his role is going to be this year for the New York Giants. They asked Daniel Jones about the beard. Yes, the beard is still a situation. He's still trying to say he doesn't know. Daniel Jones, we know, I know, everybody knows. Keep the damn beard. Don't mess up a good thing. Keep the beard. And then they also asked him a question about, his knee injury and also his neck injury. He says his neck feels fine. And then when it came to the knee, he was saying that he doesn't think that the knee is going to play a role in his thinking of how he's going to play. He's not going to have limitations because of the knee. And he doesn't think about it. He said he's done a lot of testing during training camp, and and during the off season. He is confident in his knee, and hopefully that is true. And hopefully he does not think about his knee and he's able to play freely, because again, we need these guys firing at all cylinders going into this regular season. But that's going to be the recap of the practice today. Again, let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about this Texans game. And yeah, I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to see these guys in action. The first team, offense and defense, in action. But that's going to be the video. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.